Well, guys, how's it going? So, Sunday, of course. A little bit of cloud, nothing horrible. It was actually pretty sunny this morning, but most of the day. The wind picked up a little bit, but it's supposed to start to calm down here in the next hour. Start dropping a little bit every hour. So, yeah. So I got done cleaned up that dead deer out in the field. I moved some tree branches. What else did I do? I know I already made a video on that, but did a few other things. Got the trimmer going, whatever else, yada yada yada. Finally remembered to pull out my orange. Well, it's my driveway marker, but I use it. I had two of them, but I broke one, so I got to get another one. But that's for my septic tank, so I know where it's at when I have to snow blow over there. It helps me ID it. So, what else did I do? Well, I did some work to the little tractor, the little Farmall. I finally pulled the starter out and tore it apart, you know. So it wasn't too bad. It was only just one bolt, really. Well, I mean, you had two bolts, two skinny but extremely long bolts that held the starter together. But then that kept there's one other bolt that keeps that part actually on, and it has a keyway in it. That was only held on with one bolt, and basically had to take all that apart just to get to the part. So I fixed that. I haven't had a chance obviously to test it because the carburetor still should be worked on, but it probably won't be. And I was just kind of getting wore out, needed a break because we've been going at this for a couple hours, and then the starter actually kind of like fell apart because moving it around, trying to work on it and stuff. It actually, the inside part of it that would, I guess it would get the starter spinning or whatever, the little energizer thing, all made out of copper, I guess, or whatever, but that has to be, on the end of it, it's got those brushes that would, I guess, swing around it or something. I don't really know, but once those brushes fall off, then it's a nightmare to get them back on. But the thing ended up sliding forward, so then the brushes fell off, and then you had to put the brushes back on, and they're spring loaded and they don't lock open, so you had to fight it. So it took a little while to put it back together, but we finally got it back together, got it back in the tractor, and like I said, I haven't tested it yet, but I don't know when I'll get around to testing it, but it's just to get these problems fixed. And because I kind of would like to use the tractor. I actually have a job for the little tractor. Probably another couple of weeks. I'm going to actually hook that up to my homemade harrow, because there are some cow pies out there that I want to knock down, and that's the one tractor that's going to be running. So we fixed the starter for now, and I got the old one here. I think this was our problem. So let me show you here. Now this does come apart, I think. I don't remember, but so this is the old one. This is the one that's been in the tractor forever, but I think, I'm trying to remember, but I think this broke. So what happened, and then I'd have to take it apart, I guess, which I guess I could do. But it looks like where did it go? Here. This goes inside of here. You have one right here. You're supposed to have another one up here, but you can tell it broke off. Something kind of like something I guess kind of like that, but it broke off, you see. So I think what happened is when this broke, I think it broke the spring, because the spring is it's sheared off, and then there's a spring, there's whatever left of the spring here. So supposedly this is supposed to go, I'm trying to get all this lined up. So it was supposed to be connected like that, and you can see how that's broken, how the spring broke. My guess is in there, that failed first, and then the spring couldn't do anything, you know, so it just sheared it. So I think that's the reason why I wasn't getting anything, like the starter wasn't engaging, because this, I'll get rid of this. This thing sits on a shaft, which if you guys have rebuilt a starter, you would know that. This sits on a shaft. And there was a lot of play in this when there should only be a little bit to no play. But there was a lot of play in this, which hence would be why it wasn't starting. Because when it would spin, it wasn't pushing it out like it should have. It would only just push it a little bit, or it wouldn't do anything at all. So, but it looks like here it's been chewing at it for quite a while too. My guess is when it was broken, it was still trying to do something, but it just couldn't do it anymore. So I'll hang on to the old guy. Again, we could raw parts off of it. You know, the set screws are still good. The actual gear is still good. I think the spring's alright too, so I think I could technically take all this apart and save this. But, I mean, this still feels good, but it's not going to do anything if it's not actually engaging. Now, I'm hoping this will fix my problem. But like I said, I don't know yet because I haven't had a chance to actually test this. I haven't tried to start the tractor yet, because we were just getting kind of wore out, and it was getting to be the end of the day and whatever else. But I think this is supposed to be 2 pieces, but this is not. This is supposed to be part of this, which it snapped off. So you put that in there, and you technically just put it all together, right? So, but somewhere, I think this is what failed first. This, then it wasn't doing anything. So then the spring tried to get it to turn over, but it wasn't doing anything. So pretty much, I think this is the reason why the tractor would no longer start. You would hear the starter spin. This was all rotating, but it wasn't being pushed out like it should have been, because there wasn't the proper tension. Because once the spring kind of broke, the tension wasn't there anymore. It had lost a little bit of tension. So, but yeah, there it is. So we got that fixed. Hopefully that's the problem. I'm going to go ahead and, bet $100 on it. That was probably, 100% of the problem. The carburetor is going to have to be rebuilt as well, but I'm not doing that right now. So I think that's it. I think that was the problem with the old starter out of the A. It broke in 2 pieces, believe it or not just 1 but 2. I guess I should just put this inside of there if we can. So hands are all freaking dirty, and I know I don't have any shop towels in here, so fantastic. But yeah, that's that's our problem, I think. That's at least 90% of our problem, anyway. I mean, it might be 100% of the problem for the starter, but the carburetor obviously needs to be rebuilt too. So, but you need a working starter in order to, you know, figure out what's wrong with the carburetor. I know my uncle says that, if you just adjusted the float a little bit, it probably would make a difference. I did do that. I did adjust it. But then the carburetor or the starter crapped out, so I never really got a chance to truly test that. So I may or may not go back tonight. I don't know. See at least if the starter will actually do its job this time and spin over. I know that I guess it's called the ring gear that's on the flywheel that's attached to the tractor's engine. That's what the starter actually hits when it wants to spin the engine over. I guess it's called a sun gear or whatever. I don't know. But that does have a bad spot in it, which is typical, I guess, for these old things. But in order to replace that, you'd have to split the tractor, and we don't even have the tools to split a small tractor. So, but there's only like a small section that's bad. So if the starter didn't grab it, you could just spin it over by hand a little bit and then let the starter do the work. Because I'm not going to have the power to hand start this thing. I've already tried multiple times and I can't do it. I don't have the arm strength to get it to turn over. So I have to rely on the starter for this. So I'm hoping that will have fixed my problem. But the ring gear, that will have to be sometime in the future. It ain't going to be today. So add that to the part collection, I guess, and call it day done. So it'll just have to be, yeah, I don't know. So what's really all left now, I guess technically, would be to, if my uncle wanted to rebuild the carburetor, I could do it, but I don't know if I really like messing with that big thing. So I may just send it, see what happens, see if it runs like that, and if it don't, well, whatever. But at least it would kind of point me in the right direction where I need to be. So, but and then I think once we fix that, well, then the tractor will be running. But there's still going to be hundreds of other things that need to get fixed. It needs a new manifold. I have the gaskets already for that. That was part of the head gasket kit, or that was the head gasket I had to replace. Well, I had to replace it because I damaged it removing the stupid head. So it was part of that kit. So I have that. Put the new carburetor, the new manifold on, get that here. Like I said, I already got the gaskets. And then from there, that's where it's going to get kind of tricky, because I either need to find that diverter valve. Supposedly there's a guy online that sells them, but I don't know. He wants quite a bit for them, and he won't even show a bloody picture of it. So sometimes I kind of wonder if you're even going to get the right part. So I would have to, and I think you have to call that in. You can't order it online. You have to literally call their number and say, hey, I need this. So, but I don't know. And then if I can get one, have that installed, and then, we'd just be one step closer to getting this tractor running. So, but what are you going to do, right? So, but then after that, you know, then I could order a muffler for it and a rain cap. I'm going to order I guess you could say a high quality muffler, but it's not it's not a fancy muffler. I think it's still made by Steiner or some company or whatever they get their mufflers from, but it's not. But it has IH stamped in it, and then the IH part number to make it feel more original. The one that we have on the 400 is their cheap muffler. It's not an IH muffler, you know, so it's cheaper. But for me, I want a little bit better quality muffler. Sound-wise, I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I think just overall liability and then that muffler that's on the 400's already got rust and, you know, like it's already crap, basically. So it's not leaking or anything, but it just looks like shit. But it's not a show tractor, it's a work tractor, you know. But the same thing with the A, it's going to be a work tractor, it's not a show tractor. But I still want a good high-quality muffler on it, you know, so I don't have to worry about it. But who knows when I'll get a muffler for it, right? So, but, and then from there on, I'll just start finding other seals and stuff to replace. I know on the back end there, those seals like to leak. I know they always leak quite a bit there back in the day when my uncle used to run the tractor, he always had to have some pails or something under it to catch the oil. Well, obviously I didn't do that now because it sitting outside, what good's it going to do? It's probably going to get snow and rain in it, so you're not going to be able to salvage it. So, but I think I looked at it, you know, before parking it, and it looked dry. So it's almost like the seals have, you know, they're doing their job now, but I think it's just got a lot of dirt and shit built up in it, and that's what's sealing it off. But unfortunately, to find seals like that, I don't know where. I got to get the book for that tractor, and I can get a good used one on eBay for $15. It's a used one. The book has been used. It is dirty. But it's what I need. So, I may not be able to find, I don't know if I could find the original gaskets or not to that tractor, or, you know, or even like a third party at least or something. I don't know if I would have to custom make my own, which isn't, I don't think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because I think you can get like a big roll of that stuff and you can just trace it out, you know, and then cut it. But then you're still wasting a lot of stinking material. But what are you going to do? So, but I ain't going to worry about it. I don't think it's been leaking it out, but probably should look again. But if it was leaking it out, it'd all be wet and stuff. And I don't know if it was wet or not, personally, because I haven't looked at it yet, because I was too busy working on the starter and whatever else. So, but yeah, I'd say we got quite a bit done today. Again, for being a Sunday, but you know what? The week is not looking the greatest either, so it's looking like there could be a chance of rain pretty much every other day or every other day, you know, and then whatever. But I'm going to work when the weather's in my favor, and today it was actually, the winds, well, when I started, the wind wasn't too bad. But then when I was about halfway through it, then the wind started picking up, and then the siren rang, and then I think it was a grass fire. So now it looks like the winds have kind of calmed down a little bit. They are supposed to start calming down. As every hour that goes by, the wind will drop a little bit. So, you know, which is good, but wasn't all that great when you were first, you know, when you were halfway through working on this stupid thing. But luckily I was in the yard, so we had some protection from the trees and whatever, but that only does you so much. So, but I don't know. We'll see if that fixes my starter issue. I bet it probably will. I guess if anybody's ever replaced that part in the starter, I guess let me know if this is the reason why you had to replace yours, because it would literally break in 2 pieces. I figured it would last as long as the gears were still good. Once the gears got wore down, well, then it would be questionable. But the gears still looked okay on that, so that's why I'm saying I'm going to hang on to that, because I can rob that part off of it and put it on this part if I really had to. So it may be junk, but you can still rob parts off of it, you know, to fix it back up a little bit, you know. So, but I don't know. I guess only time will tell now. So, but I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it went back together and put her in. I just haven't tested it yet. But I'm still dirty from like 3 hours ago or whatever. So pretty much just took a little bit of a break, had something to eat, and then I came out here to make this video. And then I'm probably either gonna, and then I cleaned out the Blazer a little bit too. I put some of my tools away and whatever, right? So, but if I'll go back there and attempt to see if the starter will work, I don't know. I might. I'm kind of tempted to want to. But I don't know. So, but I should have marked that, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So that's what's going on. So hopefully that was my issue, was the big Bidnix drive or whatever. So we'll put this down here for storage with everything else that sits down here. So not permanent, but for now until I get another building put up. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, hopefully that was the problem. Most likely.
3 hours later.
Alright, so it's later on in the day now. Give you a small update on the Farmall since we've repaired the starter. It fixed the starter, so we got a starter back. Carburetor hasn't been rebuilt yet, but it seems to run okay. But whatever, it's gonna need a lot of work yet. But unfortunately, I think its first job is gonna be probably coming up here, and well, I wouldn't mind doing it tomorrow, but I doubt it. But it's gonna be put on the harrow, the homemade harrow for scraping cow pies. That needs to get done. It's pretty bad, and it would be nice to kind of do it before more rain moved in. Supposedly they were talking more rain, but I don't know if we'll get it or not. But I kind of would like to do that before the rain came in, because then at least the rain could drive the poo into the ground, you know, a little bit better. So yeah, I don't know. It runs and it moves. I'm gonna have to, it's gonna be like a 15-point turn just to even get that tractor out of there, because my tractor's backed right up to it, and then my uncle's tractor is parked next to mine. So it's really going to be, it's going to be kind of a struggle just to even get it out. But I imagine I'll get it out. But like I said, it'll be a 15-point turn before I get it out. So, but that's okay. It is what it is. So at least it runs. A little bit backfiring, but I think that's just because of the carburetor. So, but yeah, starter works. So that's a good thing. least I was able to fix it. You know, it took supposed to took an hour or something, I don't know. So I'm just kind of scoping out the fence line here, and Chris's scanner kind of keeps going off. There was a siren did ring. I think it was a little after 4, I think, when it rang. And it was a fire out west a little bit there, grass fire. It was really windy too. It was kind of funny how the day started off with not much for a wind. I mean, there was a wind, but it wasn't horrible. And then by the time I got out to work on the starter, the wind picked up, and now the winds are calm again, which is fine by me, obviously. But I won't be doing anything now. It's too late to be working. I'll either do stuff during the day, but I think today was supposed to be 60, which I think it kind of got pretty close, except for that wind. That wind probably put a little bit of a hurting on it. But I think if I don't know what tomorrow's going to be. It's supposed to be cloudy, I think, and maybe a chance of rain. I don't really know. They keep changing it so much. Like today would have been a great day to do stuff, but you know, that's what I did too. Like I said, I think I said it in the first half of the video. You have to work when when the weather is on your side, and unfortunately today was that day. But it's also Sunday, and it feels like when I work on a Sunday, well, then I get hit with a lot of other problems. So I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put the A on the harrow. Do that job. That'll be a pretty easy job. The tractor won't even know it's back there, because obviously the 15 don't even know it's back there. So, but yeah, that's just the way it's gonna be. That'll be its first job for the year. Not much else I can do. I mean, there isn't much else to do right now besides that, and I would like to get that done if possible. And I won't be able to drive here too much longer either, because I want this hay to start growing. Another couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know. With some nice weather and some heat, you know, this grass will really take off. So, which is a good thing, obviously, but yeah. So, at least that went together, and I mean, it's a little bit of a fight, obviously, but I've dealt with worse. So I'm just glad that that was my problem, to why I didn't have a starter. So makes me happy. Once we get the carburetor rebuilt, if we ever do, that'll make me a little even more happier. At least I know that we'll have a reliable carburetor. So, but it runs. Depending on what it does tomorrow, I don't know. I might come. I'm gonna check the forecast again, but I might come out. I suppose it won't be first thing in the morning, that's for sure, but it'll be midday, and put my big 25-foot chain on, at least to the harrow, because that's what I use to pull it. Because my other chain that I have on the John Deere, I think, would be too small. Like it'd be too short. The strength is there, obviously, but the length of it might not be. So I like to go a little hit. So I have to use the 25-footer. I mean, I just shorten it up a little bit, you know. Take a couple of feet off each side, you know, and that's whatever it is, it is. So, but that should, yeah, and then depending on how that goes, because I know even doing that will fight me, because it's just simply, I mean, I have to bolt that chain on. I can't just lock it on with the hooks. It won't stay. So I put eye bolts in the wood Now, how long that'll last, I don't know, because that's wood. And then, you know, with me pulling on it, you know, there is some weight there, obviously, with the tires. So it'll be questionable how long the wood will last. But if they pull out, you know, let's just say if the eye hooks pull out, then I can get longer ones and swap them over to bolts, eye bolts. These are like eye screws. They have threads on them and you screw them in. I don't know, this would this be my second season now with that? Probably. I think I built it last year, so I have to look at my videos. It was either last year or the year before. I think I built that thing. Mind you, I don't pull it every day either, you know. Like, it's only pulled when it's needed to be pulled. Now, if I pulled it now, I'd probably be good for, you know, another month, or maybe even a little bit longer. It just depends on how much they're, you know, they're pooing over there. So, but I see some deer. But yeah, that's just what we'll do. If those bolts pull out, well, then I'll drill it out the rest of the way, and then I'll just get eye bolts and then put some washers on it, and that'll do. It'll have to do. So full moon. So yeah, that fixed our problem. So I'm not gonna go all that way. Screw it. So, but yeah, I'm glad that fixed my problem. That should last now, hopefully, for a few years. I don't know what would have caused it to snap, because it wasn't rusty, you know, like it's not like it's been broken for quite some time. I mean, old age could have done it, you know, obviously, but I don't know if maybe the starter, when I was trying to start it one time, if the starter was trying to go in and then I had let off, and then somehow the starter locked up and then it just twisted it. I don't really know, but it that was obviously my problem. Now, why do I don't know, I must have seen at least 50 jets today, and they're doing kind of, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, obviously. Yeah, look, here comes one. And then I think there's another one here somewhere. Yeah. It almost looks like they're going to cross. You know, sometimes it looks like they're actually going to hit each other, you know. But I know that they have radar on their planes, obviously, so they know where everybody's at. And I did hear one time that these planes, they have their own highway. It's a highway in the skies, so they're only allowed to be in certain places. Which I thought was kind of interesting. So, but yeah, but it's kind of interesting, I guess. I'll turn this way a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely a jet. And I had a helicopter come by earlier when we were working on the starter. I'm pretty sure it was a military helicopter. I don't think it was a regular helicopter. Like, it wasn't even for the border, because border helicopters are white. This looked like it was black. So usually militaries are black, so, or green. Yeah, that's a big jet, and the other jet looks like it's going higher and higher all the time. But I'm not gonna sit down here and wait for them to come over. So I got things to do at home, and yeah, I just want to get home. I've had my fun for today. We got a lot done now, so I'm not complaining. So days coming to an end. It's almost, well, 8:36 p.m. So it's just getting down there. Just wish the temperatures would kind of come up a little bit more. I was talking 50s and 60s. mostly 60s, I think, but it's all still in the low 60s. I kind of like to be a little higher than that. But what are you going to do? So, but the grass is starting to grow. I guess that's kind of the main thing. So the hay will actually grow. Actually get to grow early for once this year. The problem is are we going to get enough hay, you know, to, you know, split this between us and the young guy, right? So, but gotta take what we gotta take. So I don't know. Personally, I think if I could, I'd probably just save up some money for 1 year and talk to the young guy and see what it would cost to cut this, bale it, and then I'll just pay him for cutting and baling it, and he gets none of the hay. You know, we just get it all because I paid him for his time doing this, because there's going to be a year where we're just going to need it all. I mean, there's been a lot of years that we've needed it quite a bit, but you don't know what the winters are going to be like either. And this was a pretty good winter, but we still ran out of feed. I mean, we ran out of feed towards the end, so green grass is now just starting to come on, but we're still going to have to feed bales yet for a couple of weeks, and probably more than that. And then during calving season. So I wish I had freaking 52 head of cattle. That's what the young guys got running around right now, is 52 little calves. I wish I could have had that. So, but what do you do? Anyway, I guess I'm going to take off. I'm heading home now. I'm going to call her a day. I can't remember if I locked up my shop. I'm pretty sure that I did, so I'll have to drive by the shop and then double check. But I'm pretty sure I did, but I'm running around now, so just check it while I'm out and about. So, so I don't know. I might put the little A on the harrow this year. That'll be his first job for the year. At least if it conked out, it would still be close to home. But I know it just needs to be worked in order to really test the damn problems. But I think working it on the trails is more of a challenge for it, you know. Scraping cow pies isn't really a work job for it, but it'll be a good start, you know. It'll be a good start for that. So, but whatever, it is what it is, I guess. So we will just I guess check the 10-day forecast and then check the hour by hour forecast. And if they're saying it's going to be good for at least a couple days, you know, and if the temperatures are up too, I might get the harrow set up. All I gotta do is put the chain on it. I got boards under it too. That's just to keep the main beam off the ground so it doesn't get wet and rot. It'll get wet when it rains and snows, but it'll melt, it'll dry off right away. So after that, I don't want it to get wet. So besides that, you know. So hopefully, I'm not gonna get too excited, but if maybe tomorrow or the next day, maybe we'll be out scraping cow pies with it, but I doubt it. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna take off. I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on there, give you guys a small update to that. I got deer coming into my yard. Just hit the tree branch with my antenna. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm gonna take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.